Look around a busy city street, and you will notice a defining characteristic of our species. We walk upright on two legs. While other primates can occasionally walk bipedally, humans are the only living primates that rely on it as our primary mode of movement. For our closest relatives like chimpanzees and gorillas, knuckle walking or swinging through trees is far more common. So, how and why did our ancestors stand up and start walking? It is one of the most important questions in human evolution. For a long time, the answer seemed heavily tied to climate change. Millions of years ago, during the late Miocene and early Pliocene epochs, the African continent underwent a significant environmental shift. The dense tropical forests that provided a home for early apes began to shrink. In their place, open woodlands and expansive grassy savannas started to spread. Our ancestors were forced to adapt to a landscape where trees were growing farther and farther apart, completely changing how they lived and moved. This shift led to the traditional savanna hypothesis. As the forests broke up, early hominins had to travel longer distances across open ground to find food and shelter. Walking upright on two legs would have provided a distinct advantage in this new environment. It allowed our ancestors to see over tall grasses to spot approaching predators, like large cats, or to locate distant sources of food and water. Standing tall gave them a wider field of view in a relatively flat, open landscape. Beyond simply seeing farther, bipedalism turned out to be highly energy efficient. Studies comparing human walking to chimpanzee knuckle walking show that walking upright uses about a quarter of the energy over long distances. In an environment where food patches were spread far apart, conserving energy during travel was a matter of survival. An ape walking on two legs could cover more ground and gather more calories without exhausting itself, giving it a significant evolutionary advantage over those traveling on all fours. Walking upright also provided a clever solution to the problem of heat. The African savanna can be incredibly hot, especially during the middle of the day. By standing on two legs, early hominins reduced the amount of body surface exposed to the direct overhead rays of the sun. At the same time, this upright posture lifted their torsos higher off the hot ground, exposing them to cooler, faster-moving breezes. This helped prevent overheating during long journeys across the open plains. Another major benefit of standing on two legs was freeing up the hands. Without the need to use their arms for walking, our ancestors could use them to carry things. This ability was a major breakthrough. They could carry gathered food back to a safe location or share it with their group, and they could carry infants more easily over long distances. Eventually, having free hands allowed for the creation, transportation, and use of complex tools, changing the course of our history. However, recent discoveries suggest the story is more complex than just leaving the forest. Some scientists point to the postural feeding hypothesis. This idea suggests that bipedalism actually began while our ancestors were still living in the trees. Standing on strong hind legs while holding onto branches would have allowed them to reach fruit hanging on lower or thinner branches. As they spent more time foraging this way, their bodies adapted to an upright posture before they even moved permanently to the savanna. The fossil record supports a gradual transition. Early hominins like Ardipithecus ramidus, who lived over 4 million years ago, had a pelvis suited for walking upright, but also retained a grasping big toe for climbing trees. Later, the famous Australopithecus afarensis, known as Lucy, showed clear skeletal adaptations for bipedalism, such as an angled femur. The incredible Laetoli footprints, preserved in volcanic ash in Tanzania, show undeniable evidence of hominins walking on two legs roughly 3.6 million years ago. Ultimately, there is no single reason why humans started walking on two legs. It was likely a combination of these factors. Reaching for food, saving energy, keeping cool, and carrying tools all provided slight advantages that built up over millions of years. Bipedalism was an evolutionary puzzle solved through multiple adaptations. It reshaped our skeletons, altered our relationship with the environment, and quite literally set the foundation for the evolution of modern humans.